What's up, chat? It's your boy Suge again, and I'm back with another video. I'm staying consistent. I'm dropping 100 videos. We on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm bringing everybody with me. Anybody that's going through training, anybody that's thinking about coming to Stevens, and you want any information, this the channel to be on. I'm gonna keep it real. This based on my experience. Drop comments down below. I'm thinking about going live soon. Certain questions that you might have, also look at my old videos and see if I dropped something about that already, and if I need to update it, maybe I'll drop a part 2. All the videos are like up to date. I want to be that channel that keep y'all up to date. I am a company solo driver, and yeah, I mean, this the channel to be on. I want to say thank y'all for liking, coming, and subscribing. Keep watching the videos, keep tapping in with your boy, and let's do it. Let's 1,000 subscribers. Let's do it. I believe we can do it. We did the 100. Now I'm just aiming a little bit higher this time, because I'm like 100. That came pretty fast, and I appreciate that. I want to talk about what to expect at the shippers and receivers. So everywhere is really different. I'm gonna start off like this. When it comes to picking up trailers, if it got a specific time that the trailer is ready, normally that trailer might be ready sometimes a little ahead of time, or it might be ready right at that time. So with that, when it's normally a drop trailer that I gotta go pick up, I normally just arrive like maybe an hour early, 30 minutes early, or whenever to go pick it up. Now, some cases there is a window that your trailer will be ready. So when you get there and you ask them about your trailer, it's not a guarantee that it'll be ready. They'll tell you about the window. Stevens also on the tablet, it show you the window. I've been to some places where the trailer don't be ready towards the end of the window. Like, they'll take the whole window time for that trailer to finally be ready. In certain cases like that, I'll take my 10-hour break there, and hopefully my trailer should be ready by the end of that 10 hours. It should be ready. Normally, it's ready. So I'll say that. Also, remember just to get to these places early, because it's better to be early than be late. Because some of these places, they charge you late fees. It's not gonna come out your pocket, of course, but Stevens don't want to be paying these late fees for real. Like, there's no reason you should be late. If you're running late, they will ask you to submit a macro. It's like a macro 8 or whatever, and you can let them know ahead of time that you're running late. You might need help with this load, and they'll try to get you some help. Most of the time, they don't put you in a position where you can't make this load. So if you running late or anything like that, 9 times out of 10 is possibly your fault. You didn't trip plan properly, or you overslept or something like that. So try to get to these places early. You don't want, like, Stevens don't want to have to deal with no late fee. Yeah, somebody got to pay it, but they don't want to be spending all this extra money because you just constantly late. I only was late one time. Other than that, I always early. And the only reason I was late because it was when I kind of first started, and you got to deal with the military time. I seen like 4, and I was thinking 4 p.m. and I was tripping. It was 4 a.m. So they called me like at 6, like, hey, when you gonna go to the shipper? And luckily I was like 20 miles away, and I was like, I thought it was 4 p.m. and stuff like that. They're like, nah, it's 4 a.m. So I end up getting up, getting ready and stuff like that, and I gone ahead up there. But they charged me a late fee. Stevens covered it and stuff like that, but they don't expect you to be late. So yeah, that was one time I've been late. I would say also read the reviews of some of these places, because sometimes the reviews be true. Some places unload you fast, some places unload you slow. Some places, if you like use Trucker Path or Google Maps and stuff like that, you can see that the parking lot is pretty small, so you might have a little harder time backing up or something like that. So you just mentally prepare ahead of time. what I can say, when the places are unloading you fast, that's really appreciated. And then when they unload you slow, I really don't get too mad or anything like that, because normally Stevens give these places 2 hours of unloading. Like if your appointment at 4, they got until like 6 to, you know, have you unloaded. Anything after that, like when them extra hours, you know, 4 or 5 hours it took them to unload, you normally getting paid by the hour, which is considered detention pay. So yeah, you might be there, you know, longer than expected, but you also getting paid for that. And then in certain cases, if you deliver something after like 3-4 o'clock, you probably won't get no load till the next morning, because most places don't really accept, you know, the after a certain time, like picking up and stuff like that. You might be able to get a drop or something, but in my case as a company driver, normally I get a load that next morning. Or if I deliver early, like at 9 or 10, I might be able to get a load the next morning, but it'll have some empty miles that I need to go on and knock out. They ain't gonna just have you just sitting around, where if you deliver that early, you about to sit until tomorrow. Like, nah, they gonna go on and let you try to get them miles, and the more miles, the more, you know, pay you. I'm somebody who, I like staying busy. I don't like just sitting in a truck and like, nah, that's not my goal, to just be sleeping in a truck. I'm in a truck for a reason, and my reason is get the experience, get the miles, and get paid, of course. So yeah, I say that sometimes when you dealing with some of these places, the people, they might have bad attitudes and stuff like that, but I don't let their attitudes affect me. I just, you know, be me. They might, you know, have a bad day or anything like that, and you know, it is what it is. You can kind of read certain people and stuff like that. So I just say, just stay positive, you know, most of the time, and you should have no problems. Sometimes you might also run into other drivers that feel some type of way at the, you know, places, or try to rush you to park and stuff. Get out and look, you know, don't try not to take too long, but it's better to take your time than to hit somebody. It was this one place I was at, it was, I believe, in New York. They got company drivers, and then the outside people, the on the road drivers that pull up, they gave me a door, and their company drivers was clocking in at the same time they gave me the door. So they gave me a door, and next you know, I seen the company driver back his box truck into the door, and I'm like, hey, I thought, you know, you gave me the door. He was like, yeah, man, like, when I give you the door, you got to try to, you know, go on and get it before, you know, one of the company drivers get it, because they have no idea that, you know, I'm giving certain doors out. Their goal is to just get a door when they get here so they can get loaded and get out the way. So I was like, okay, so in that case, I had to, you know, wait like 10-15 minutes on him to get off the door. But luckily, they unloaded me fast, so I didn't really have too much of a problem there. I also was there early, so yeah, that, you know, slowed me down a little bit, but I was there early, so the slow down time really didn't affect me. Also, some of these places, like if you go to Walmart and stuff like that, certain Walmarts don't allow you to check in 2 hours ahead of time. Then certain Walmarts don't allow you to check in an hour ahead of time. So you just got to pay attention to that. You don't want to go to somewhere and they say you too early, where they turn you around, you got to go back to the, you know, pilot, or you got to park on the side of the street. You don't want to deal with that. Like, I done pulled up to a Walmart before, and I was like 3 hours early. Like, that's when I first was like, you know, started. I was trying to get everywhere early. I was like 3 hours early. Really, I wasn't 3 hours early. I was like 2 hours early, maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes. And they was like, nah, we only can check you in like an hour before your appointment time. So I ended up having to wait, you know, back in line with the other trucks. It been a case where I tried to leave out at the last minute. Not really last minute. I was like literally 5 miles away from the Walmart, and my appointment was like at 5:30, and I left out like at, I think, 4:45, because I'm like 5 miles. I get there, it's a line. I made it like 15 minutes before my appointment, but I'm thinking like next time I can't do that, because I don't know if they probably give you like an extra 30 minutes to an hour, you know, after your appointment time, but I don't want to run into no situation where they consider me late. You know, if you consider late on these loads, that probably affect your like layover pay, because they're gonna say you was late. Yeah, you got there early, but you arrived late. So how you get there early and you still come late? It ain't gonna make sense. So you don't want to do that. Also, you have to deal with certain people, certain places. They might give you, based on my experience, this is what I deal with. So one place, they gave me more product than the other company had asked for. So when it came to unloading, that company left a pallet with like 40 cases of pizza on my trailer. You don't figure out what's left back there till you see the paperwork, and then till you look actually back there. And I seen it, and I'm like, what I supposed to do with this pallet and pizza? And they basically didn't want it because I'm guessing they didn't pay for that. And I'm like, I don't want it either. So in that case, when you're dealing with something like that, you gotta call Stevens, and it's considered OSD, over, short, or damaged, like, you know, cases, pallets, and all that's whatever's on the trailer. You have to submit that to Stevens, and they will tell you after that what to do in that scenario. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna either keep it, give it away, throw it away, everything but sell it. You're not allowed to sell, like, you know, products that's left on the trailer. I believe that's against the law. It's either against the law or against Stevens' policy, but don't get caught, you know, trying to sell something. Don't do it. I just say don't do it. So in that case, I end up going to like a Love's washout. Love's, it ain't too many washouts that I see at Love's, but I went to a Love's washout. They didn't have no forklift or nothing like that, so they really don't deal with taking product off a trailer and, you know, getting rid of it and stuff like that. So I end up going like an extra 5-10 more miles down the street to like a small maybe mom and pop truck wash, and they was willing to take the product off. They actually had like deep freezers and stuff like that, and they just kept the product for themselves or whatever. And, you know, they was happy. They were like, pizza, we got kids and stuff. So they took that product home. They gave me a washout and everything for like regular price. So yeah, you just gotta, you know, gotta deal with that. That's like the main thing I say. You know, just go early. You get paid for when they take out the 2 hours, and if they leave stuff on the trailer, you know, at OSD, then that's when you gotta figure out what you're gonna do with that product. It was one time where when I was with my trainer, we had this case, like we had this happen, and we had like box full of Oreos and saltine crackers. I didn't want the saltine crackers, but I did want the Oreos, so I was taking packs of Oreos with me. I was eating them too. Like, I had about 5-6 packs of Oreos. I don't even eat cookies like that, but hey, they was free, it was left, and why not? If I'm gonna throw it away anyway, so me and my trainer, we just, you know, took as much as we can, and the rest kind of, you know, went away in the trash. You know. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I want to say thank y'all for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Stay tuned for the next video. It's your boy Sugar again, and I'm out. Peace.